Hello, welcome to Ampie's Kitchen, Faitan. Today we are going to be making tostones. We're going to use a green plantain. We are going to mash it in our plantain masher, and we are going to fry it in some oil in a frying pan. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the tips of the plantains off. Now the plantain has these things, I call them little spines, but lines here, and you're going to carefully take your knife and you're going to cut along those ridges. That's going to help us peel the plantain. Plantains come in a variety of stages. You know, when they're really yellow, they're ripe and sweeter. When they're green, you can use those to make more savory plantain dishes like plantain chips or tostones, what we're going to make today. After I slice the edges, I just use my finger. You can use a knife too. And I just run it through there. And I begin to peel. And you're going to do that to the whole plantain. Now, as you can see, after I peeled the plantain, there's a little bit of remnants of the skin there, and I just simply peel those off or cut them off with my knife just to clean it up some. Now that the plantain is nice and clean, I'm going to heat up some oil. I'm going to use about a 1/3 cup of oil for now. You can use vegetable oil. I sometimes use olive oil when I don't have vegetable oil, so any kind of oil that you like to use for frying. I have my oil in my pan and my temperature is set to high. I'm gonna let that heat up for about a minute, and in the meantime, let's start cutting up our plantain. I am now going to cut the plantain diagonally in about a little less than an inch thick, maybe 3/4, and I'll cut along the entire plantain. Now that I have all my plantains cut into pieces, I'm going to put them in the frying pan. Our plantain is nicely frying. As you can see, I like to have enough oil in there to cover about half of the plantain, and then we flip it over as they become nice and golden. You don't want it to be super dark because this is a multi-frying stage process. So once you flip them all over, you wait for another couple minutes, again until both sides are lightly brown. Once both sides are lightly brown, you can remove the plantains and just put them on your cutting board, and you'll do that to all remaining pieces. Now it's time to mash our plantains to make the tostones. Some of you might be thinking, I don't have a plantain masher. Don't worry. When I didn't have one, I would just use the bottom of a cup or a glass jar, and it works just as well to mash the plantain with the bottom of a jar. To mash your plantain, simply take a piece that's been mostly cooled off, don't burn yourself, and press. Now you have your mashed plantain form, and I simply put that back in my frying pan. And I will do that to the remaining pieces. Now that I have my mashed plantains in there, I'll flip them over until they're nice and golden brown again on both sides. And again, that's for a couple minutes. Now that these are ready, I can put them on top of a plate And I put a napkin on my plate just to absorb some of the oil. I will fry the remaining plantains in the oil. Now that my plantains are nice and golden brown and fried, I'm going to add salt and garlic powder. Just sprinkle some garlic powder, granules, and some salt. And there you have it. Fried plantains, or as we call them, tostones. Thanks for joining us in Ampie's Kitchen. Until next time.